The UK is reportedly hosting a senior aide to the Libyan regime, who's believed to be seeking an exit strategy for the leader, Muammar Gaddafi. Some media sources suggest that more top-ranking Libyan officials have now fled the country, following in the footsteps of the former Foreign Minister, Moussa Koussa. Let's cross live now to RT's Paula Sleer, who's in Tripoli for us. Paula, are we witnessing a major split within Gaddafi's ranks here?
Well, it certainly does seem that way. We know at this moment of at least two high-profile defections. The country's foreign minister, Mr. Moussa Koussa, is currently in London, where he is meeting with British officials, despite the fact that they say they will not grant him immunity. And then Mr. Ali Abdul Salam El-Treki, he is also a former foreign minister of Libya. He was also an ambassador to the United Nations, where he served a term as president of the General Assembly. He has also announced his departure. Now, there can be no doubt that this is a psychological blow to the Gaddafi regime. Certainly what we're hearing from London is that the regime is on the verge of crumbling. But here in Tripoli, the government has actually laughed off all these kind of suggestions of defections. When questioned about what is the defection of the foreign minister, the country's spokesperson, Mr. Musa Ibrahim, said that this was an old man, he was exhausted, he was suffering from diabetes, and he'd actually approached the government for a leave of absence in which he could seek treatment abroad. Now, Mr. Musa Ibrahim said that they had granted the foreign minister this, and he went so far as to say that if the foreign minister returns, he will be welcomed back. Now, when we questioned him about rumours we're hearing of at least another 10 people who have defected, the latest news we have is that a group of Libyan officials who travelled to Tunisia for talks are actually staying there. And among them are a former prime minister and also the current head of the country's parliament. The government has said it is simply unaware of this. Now, almost as important, if not more important, are reports that we are hearing that for the past fortnight, one of the most trusted aides of the Gaddafi regime has been in London, where he's been holding secret talks with authorities there over a possible exit strategy for Gaddafi. So the questions that people are asking are, number one, is Gaddafi planning some kind of exit? And secondly, for just how much longer can his regime survive with the defection of such high-profile members?
Well, indeed. I mean, clearly this is all a serious political blow to Gaddafi, but it does seem that his troops are still advancing, Paula.
His troops are still advancing. The current fighting is centred around the strategically all-important town of Brega, which is on the coastal road to Tripoli. Now, it is essentially fighting that's happening out in the desert. The rebels are fighting from behind sand dunes. The strategy they're using is small trucks from where they fire rocket artillery. They then send spotters with binoculars to go and see where those rockets landed and to report back. We're hearing that they are a lot more organised, the rebels themselves, but that they're still calling on the international community for assistance in the form of weapons. Fighting in the western part of the country in the city of Misrata continues. There in the last 24 hours, we're being told that at least 20 civilians were killed by government shelling in residential areas. Here in Tripoli, airstrikes and anti-aircraft gunfire continues now for 2 weeks. There are almost non-stop demonstrations in support of the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi and rallies being held. One was held overnight Thursday at his compound at Bab al-Azizia. At the same time, we're hearing from the Vatican's top envoy to Libya that at least 40 civilians have been killed in the airstrikes in Tripoli alone. Most of those casualties in the eastern Tripoli suburb of Tajura. And one such incident that we've been told about is when a house collapsed on a family with small children inside. Libyan state television is also reporting what it says is a statement that is from Gaddafi himself, although he doesn't appear on television. It is rather a newsreader who reads out the statement saying that these NATO airstrikes are just going to cause more civilian deaths and just spark a crusader war.
OK, Paula Sleer live for us here on RT. Thank you.